All right, folks, let's go ahead and spread our wings a little bit further here. So what we're going to do now is create another application. So let's go ahead and save file at the top here, new project. And I'm going to say, I just want an empty for now. Say next. And this one, I'm going to call this make it rain as such. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say com for the package name, Build Apps with Paulo, make it rain as such. You can change to whatever you want, but bear in mind that a package name is very important because it is the ID of your application, especially later when you want to publish your application to the masses. And it's customary to do reverse domain name. So for instance, if you have a website called google.com, you would say com.google, and usually you say dot, put the name of this application here. Very good. So the main language here is Java. API level here, I'm going to keep at 4.4, which is KitKat, because at this point we want to make sure that these runs at least 95.3% of devices, so a lot more Android devices. And I'm going to say finish. We'll take a little bit here to do all of the builds to create our project. In a second here, we should be ready to start tackling our new project. Very good. So we seem to have everything done. And of course, as always, it goes ahead and create all of our project, all the files that we need, packages and so forth. And it gives us this main activity.java. Okay, very good. So what are we going to be building now? Well, as the name implies, it's going to be make it rain. So this application here will help us continue to solidify our knowledge of Android development here. Okay, so it's going to be rather simple, but we are going to gradually learn new things. Very good. So now that we have our project, let's go to our XML. So click here and you will see something that looks familiar. Right, so this is our design view, and we have here our palette, so we can have text, buttons, whatever we want, and we can drag and drop to our design view here. And like I said before, you can actually come here and do all of that. Let's close this down in code. Right, so I can add, if I want to, another text view. So I can come down here, say open parenthesis that, and I can say text view and hit enter, and then I can start laying things out. So for layout width, I can say match parent, for instance, which means going to be the size of the entire width of our screen here. Height, I can say also match parent. Okay, so there's different ways to do this. Okay, that's our text, and I can give an ID. So say ID, and there is our helper here. Hit enter, and it's going to say enter again. So this is how we create actual IDs that can be used in our main.java. Okay, so this I can say my item as such. So now our text has an ID, and if I want, I can pass in the actual text that for now I'm going to say hello. So if you do that, you're going to see that we have that hello at the top here. It's very small for obvious reasons, and look at that, there is our hello there. So I just wanted to show you that you can also do everything that we can do using our design here, we can do using our text here. Okay, so for the most part, we're going to be using our design here, but every now and then we're going to hop over to the text so that we can do some of our user interface creation here in our code using XML. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this, and don't worry, you'll have a lot of opportunities to actually create everything by hand. Very good. So now we have all of that. Of course, I'm going to get rid of all of this because we don't want that. And the first thing I'm going to do is, let's keep this a little bit bigger, is I'm going to double click. So if you double click, then it shows this attributes panel here, which allows us to give certain attributes to our view. Okay, so I can create a layout, so I can make sure that I have an ID for the entire view. In this case, we don't need that. But then if you want to change the background color of our view, of our window here, we can come up here. We can either search up here, or we can just click view all attributes. If you do that, then you can see it shows all of attributes that can be a little bit scary at first, but nevertheless they're not. Okay, so these are the things that we can actually give to our window here. For instance, if you want background, I can just come here and say background, and there we go, background. Click there, and I can click to the side here, and I can give a color, or I can click here and opens up this window here. This is the resources window. resources are considered the other side of the equation when we're building Android applications, right? So anything that can be used in conjunction with our Java is considered a resource, such as a drawable, so an image. As you can see here, there's colors, arrays, and so many other things. Okay, so at this point, we're going to go for color. You can see we can actually get colors that come already pre-built with Android Studio. In this case here, what we want, we're just going to go ahead and get just a very simple color here. In fact, I can open up this Android here, which you can see has more colors. These are the project colors. As you can see, we can close. And these are the Android colors, okay? So let's get perhaps this color here. Click, and there you go. And let me make sure you can see what's going on. Then you can say OK. And all of a sudden, the whole screen now is that color. In fact, if I save this and make sure that we have our emulator running, click Run. In this case, I don't have an emulator running, and I have a few of those. Let's use that one there. Say OK. Take a few seconds. We should see our new window application. There we go. Now it's rebooting. And after a few seconds, there we go, make it rain, and we have this very nice color here. Okay, so all applications, when you start them, they have this bar at the top here, which we'll talk about later. Okay, very good. So that was simple. That didn't take that much. And if you want to probe in again, you can go to text. You will see that now our background has this Android color halo. So it goes through this path at Android, meaning we're getting this color from the Android namespace, meaning the Android realm or the Android library. So we get this halo blue light. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some text at the top here. How do we do that? Well, click on our text palette here. I just want a simple text view. Put it right there. Make this a little bit bigger so we can actually see what's going on. And I'm going to put some constraints to the top. Constraints there, and as well to the right there. And I'm going to move that a little bit down, about 90 to 88 pixels there. If I want, I can hover over here and make it a little bit longer. That's nice, okay? And clicking that, I can actually make it in the middle. And click on the actual text view, I can find ways to center that. Let's see, how can I center that? I can say center. All right, so we have our text here. So the next thing I want to do, if you double click here, it's going to give us the text view where we can actually change this, because at this point, it's not saying what we want it to say. So what we want to say is, I want to say something as follow. You have colon like that. Very good. And it's kind of small, and I want to make it a little bit bigger. How do I do that? Well, you remember, you can come up here, say size, or S, text size, there we go. And I can click here, and I'm going to say 18 for now. If I want, I can text style it, say I want it to be bold, there we go, and it looks very nice. So if I go ahead here and just go a quick reload there, we should see, hopefully, there we go, you have, very good. So the thing here now, it looks like I lost my connection. Let's do it again. I want to put there, I want to also put right there. For some reason, we lost those connections there. That's interesting. But let's save now and see what's going to happen. We're going to go ahead and refresh again. That should be hopefully in the middle over there. Okay, so that's not bad. In fact, I want this to be a little bit up. So something like this. Let's do it again. This is not always necessary, but okay, there we go. We can always play around with this concept here, make sure everything is great, but this is okay. So we see here, we have our text. And at the bottom here, what we're going to do, we're going to add another text. I'm going to say, put it below that. And I want to constrain it to this you have. Say top text view like this. So this time I'm going to just follow it, and I want to constrain it to that top or the bottom of the first text view we added. And then I'm going to constrain it to the right as well, and as well as to the left. So this is going to be, let me make it a little bigger. This is going to say something, double click. So this one, I'm going to double click. For the text part of thing, let's get rid of this. The text here, double click. I want it to say something. I'm just going to say for now, something like this, 2,000. Hit enter, and you can see now we have that 2,000 there. Of course, Very good. So now we want to make it a little bit bigger. So you know how to do this. I'm going to say size or S. In fact, size, I think that would be best. So text size, click down here, and I want it to be around 24. Okay, so that's pretty big there. Very good. So now this is the amount that's going to show. Of course, this amount is actually going to be all dynamic. Okay, and at the bottom here below, I'm going to put a button. So let's go to buttons here. I'm going to get this button here and drag and drop something like that. And I want to make sure that I constrain it with that. Put it down there. And I'm going to constrain also left and right as that. Okay, very good. So we are now making good progress. Let's save this and see how things are looking. Very good. It's looking decently okay. Nothing out of this world, but at least we know we have something going on there, okay? Very good. So we have this text, we have this button. Once you click, you see that ripple effect, which is exactly what we want. All right, so we're making progress here. In the next video, we'll continue putting together the user interface, and then we'll start tackling the actual Java code so that we can start allowing users, when they click on this button here, this number is going to start going up. So the idea here is make it rain. So every time you click here, this number is going to keep growing, emulating our bank account growing with cash. If only this was true. All right, folks, I'll see you in the next video.